In the past, zoos were primarily display and entertainment venues. Today, though, they serve important research and conservation functions. I'm here to meet up with biologist Lesley Shaw to learn about the very rare and endangered western swamp tortoise.
Well, this species is one of the collection that we have in our native species breeding program that is actually endangered. This is one of Australia's most critically endangered reptiles. So this tortoise was believed to be extinct, but was actually rediscovered just quite coincidentally in the early 1950s. And it was only through that rediscovery that it was realised that they were still out there. So of course you can imagine how desperate the search would have been to go and find a cohort of these individuals.
If it hadn't been discovered, it could have been gone by now, without us even knowing that
Very
it existed.
possibly, very possibly. I mean, this area has undergone enormous change through development and change of land use. So bringing the scientists in is critically important, and our program is a collaboration of those research scientists from Department of Biodiversity, Conservation and Attractions. We work with a recovery team, so the actions are really important in that respect, and collaboratively with other stakeholders. We've got the Friends of the Western Swamp Tortoise out at Ellenbrook, and they are very enthusiastic about protecting this species. We've got university students who are working on the PhDs and honours programs to further enhance the understanding of the species. We're always learning more and more about them.
So why do you think they went almost extinct in the first place? Were they eaten by predators or pushed out by development? Or?
Yes, a number of factors, and certainly the loss of habitat has been critical to their demise.
As always.
Yes. Predation, sure, foxes, ravens, cats, and of course we've got drying climate. You know, we're in a biodiversity hotspot that is quite threatened, because we have trends that are showing the rainfall levels are declining.
Drier and drier.
Yes, yes.
How will that affect the tortoise, you think?
These animals are dependent on the wetlands being hydrated, so that they've got enough time for them to breed, to grow, develop, feed. As soon as those drying trends start, those animals are in a rush to do all of that, to feed up and to get themselves equipped for the long dry summer ahead. This is what's really interesting about this reptile, is that it's a winter active reptile. I mean, you would think, you know, reptiles, they're active in summer, but not this species at all. It's winter dependent.
It's cold tolerant, really.
Yes, so we have them going into what we call estivation.
Vegetarians, or are there carnivores or omnivores?
Yes, they are carnivores. They are entirely dependent on feeding in the water body, so they will eat aquatic insects, invertebrates.
Fish, if they can catch them, or?
We have tried that, but without success.
Not very popular.
Tadpoles, if they can corner them, you know. So yes, they are reliant on invertebrates in the water.
Everybody knows sort of that turtles and tortoises can get very old. Do you know anything about that?
Oh yes. So this is our oldest resident here at Perth Zoo, and he is around the age of 80. Could be even a bit more than that. And he came into our to the behind the scenes here at Perth Zoo in 1988. So he's been around for a very long time and still breeding. So he's a very reliable male.
Wow.
So very, very interesting in how long that period of fecundity is
That is
in this
amazing.
species.
I had no idea.
Yes, I mean it takes them a long time to reach maturity as well. So it will very much depend on the conditions in the wetlands where they will be existing. So you know, if it's rich and a lot of resources, then they may mature a bit younger.
When did you begin this program?
This program has been going since 1988, when the animals were first brought in to our facility at Perth Zoo. And yes, we have been working successfully on this program ever since.
How many have you released, so to speak?
So we're going to be hitting over the 800 mark. This Friday, we're releasing 73 hatchlings and juveniles, so ranging in age between 1 and 3 years.
You're releasing them back where they were supposed to be in the first place, but with this enormous success, you must be looking for new habitats as well. Is that correct? Or
we will have to look at new areas for release, just because of our drying climate. We're going to have to look at other areas that will maintain water for a longer period, so that is really important. We have 3 other species that we work with, mammals and amphibians. So we have the numbat, which is Western Australia's mammal emblem. And they are endangered. Also from very close to Perth, only about 2 hours southeast.
Predators and so on.
Predation predominantly, yes, also loss of habitat. They used to be quite widespread across the southern half of the continent, and just through time and development, there's been this retraction.
How successful has it been?
We have got established populations in some areas, which is really fabulous. That's what you would aim for.
Yeah, of course.
We've also got the dibbler, and one might question what a dibbler might be.
I have no idea what it is.
Well, if you think of the dasyurid, which is the family that the Tasmanian devil comes from.
All right.
This is a relative, and it's a carnivorous marsupial, very small.
How small?
We're talking about 10 centimeters, and it has a very distinctive appearance. It has sort of a creamy ring around beautiful dark eyes, and a tapering hairy tail, and a shorter tail than a rat. So,
just as bad a temperament as the Tasmanian devil, or?
You don't want to get on the wrong end of it.
Okay.
So we have them. They're also from the southwest of Western Australia, and on the islands just northeast of, at least northwest of the city.
Not on the mainland itself?
Yes, on the mainland, so sort of hugging the south coast. Also habitat loss, dieback. We have Phytophthora, fungal diseases that attack plants, and predation by foxes and cats have been huge factors. And then, of course, we've got the little frogs.
Yeah, I read about that. There are the orange-bellied, the white-bellied, and then one other.
There was the sunset, yes.
And I couldn't find any of them in the local field guide to amphibians here. Why is that? Are they so rare that don't even make it into a field guide?
I think they need to update the field guides.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yes.
So how successful have you been with this project then?
Very. We have the 2 species.
Small ones, aren't they?
They're minute, yes.
Nice.
About the size of your thumbnail.